DJI builds cameras, DJI builds gimbals, DJI builds drones, and now DJI builds robot vacuums. This is the ROMO P, DJI's first step into smart home cleaning. According to DJI, it's powerful, intelligent, and transparent. But does DJI actually bring something new to the robot vacuum space, or is this just another rebranded cleaner? Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com, and thanks to DJI for sending us this device for free. Now, let's test it. DJI entering the robot vacuum market is interesting because this is not their core category. So the real question is not just how good the ROMO P is, but whether DJI's experience with sensors, navigation, and software actually make a difference here. We've been using the ROMO P for several days across different rooms, surfaces, and scenarios. And here's what you need to know. Out of the box, you get the robot itself, the charging dock, a power cable, 2 extra brushes, and basic documentation. No fancy extras, very straightforward. First impression, the build quality is actually better than expected. The plastic feels dense, the tolerances are tight, and nothing rattles. The ROMO also features a separate fresh water tank and a dirty water tank. This allows it to mop floors with clean water while dirty water is collected separately, a setup you typically see on advanced hybrid cleaning systems. The mopping pads can be cleaned after use at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which corresponds to 60 degrees Celsius, ensuring proper hygiene after wet cleaning. DJI also includes support for cleaning solutions and a floor deodorizer. This helps with light stains and odors and makes the mopping function feel more complete, rather than just a basic wipe. From a design perspective, these tanks are easy to access and remove, and their integration doesn't make the robot feel bulky or overcomplicated. The ROMO P uses a classic round form factor. Underneath, you have a dual anti-tangle roller brush, which helps reduce hair tangling. This design is particularly beneficial for long hair, as it's less likely to wrap tightly around the brush compared to a single continuous roller. It also has side brushes for edge cleaning, the main suction intake, and 2 dedicated mopping pads mounted at the rear. The dustbin is magnetic and easy to remove, which makes daily maintenance simple. Filters are standard, nothing proprietary or locked down. Overall, this feels like a well-engineered consumer product, not a rushed first-generation experiment. Setup was fast. Download the app, connect to Wi-Fi, and the ROMO P is ready within minutes. The first mapping run was clean and efficient. It created a detailed floor plan, detected room boundaries correctly, and allowed manual adjustments afterward. In the app, you can create no-go zones, virtual walls, room-based cleaning schedules, and even see cleaning history. The interface is responsive and it's stable, which is important because bad apps ruin even really good hardware. Now, this is where DJI should really shine: navigation. And to be fair, the ROMO P performs well here. It avoids most obstacles reliably, including cables and shoes, and rarely gets stuck. Path planning is logical, systematic, and consistent. It doesn't randomly bounce around the room, which still happens with cheaper models. That said, this is not magic. It's good navigation, not industry-leading, but clearly above entry-level robots. The ROMO P can drive over small obstacles and low thresholds, like the transition between our bathroom and a hallway. Sometimes it clears these obstacles on the first attempt, but in other cases, it needs a few tries before making it over. If your home has a lot of raised thresholds or uneven transitions between rooms, this could become a limitation. It also occasionally got caught on chair legs, but in most cases, it was able to free itself without manual intervention. Let's move on to real-world performance. First up, hard floor cleaning. For this test, we spread 80 grams of rice across a 54 square foot area and measured how much the robot was able to collect. On the first run, we used these standard settings, but the ROMO P didn't pick up everything, so we switched to maximum suction and set the cleaning path to fine. With those settings, the ROMO P collected 78 grams out of 80 grams, which is a solid result. Most of what was left behind were a few rice grease grains hiding in corners and along edges. To make things more challenging, we then added 80 grams of flour and 80 grams of Smarties on top of the rice. Again, we ran the robot at full suction, set it to vacuum first, and then mop. Overall, we are happy with the end result. It left 3 Smarties behind, and here and there a grain of rice remained in a corner, but the mopping performance was genuinely pretty good. What's particularly interesting is how the ROMO P's mop extends and wraps precisely around chair legs and furniture edges, ensuring better edge coverage. Also worth noting, all ROMO models can automatically dispense detergent, but only the P version adds a floor deodorizer, which leaves rooms smelling noticeably fresher after each cleaning cycle. Next, we tested carpet cleaning performance. Once again, we distributed 80 grams of rice, this time on a carpet, and ran the ROMO P at maximum suction. Unfortunately, the result was much weaker here. The robot managed to pick up only 32 grams of rice. The main reason for this is the grooved structure of the carpet. Rice gets trapped in these grooves, and the ROMO P simply doesn't have enough suction to pull it out effectively. But to be fair, this is a common issue with most robot vacuum cleaners. So, putting it into perspective, the ROMO P performs quite well on hard floors like wood, tiles, or stone. Though, as mentioned, just as all robot vacuums, it struggles with carpets with grooved textures. Let's move on to battery now though. Battery life heavily depends on the cleaning mode that you choose. If you run the ROMO P at maximum suction and enable multiple cleaning passes, power consumption increases significantly. In that case, the robot will return to its home station more frequently to recharge before continuing the job. Battery life overall is still respectable. In our testing, it comfortably handled medium-sized apartments on a single charge when using balanced settings. The robot also resumes cleaning automatically after recharging, so larger areas are still manageable, just with longer total cleaning time. Noise levels are moderate. It's not whisper quiet, especially at higher suction levels, but it's perfectly acceptable for daytime cleaning. That said, it's not something you'd really want running right next to you during a phone call or a meeting. The ROMO lineup is clearly positioned in the premium segment. DJI offers 3 variants. The ROMO S starts at around $1,500, the ROMO A is priced at approximately $1,870, and the ROMO P sits at the top end with a list price of about $2,220. That said, discounts are fairly common. At the time of testing, the ROMO P was available for around $1,750, which significantly improves its overall value proposition compared to its original MSRP. The app is genuinely simple and intuitive to use. You get a clear overview of your living space, and DJI automatically divides the apartment into individual rooms, such as the bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, and the living room. These room divisions can also be adjusted manually afterward if needed. You can then clean individual areas specifically, for example, just the kitchen, or manually draw a custom zone if that's a spot that's particularly dirty. Within the cleaning modes, you can choose whether the robot should vacuum and mop at the same time, vacuum only, mop only, or vacuum first and then mop. There are also multiple adjustment options, different suction power levels, how many passes the robot should make, water flow intensity, how often the mopping cycles run, and how precisely the robot should drive its cleaning paths. Additionally, you can choose whether the robot mops with just water, with a cleaning solution, or with the deodorizing additive. You can set up recurring tasks as well, for example, daily cleanings or specific schedules like every Monday. The app also shows the current system status, such as whether there's enough water available. One interesting extra is the built-in camera feature. You can remotely access the camera while you're away from home and check what is happening inside your apartment in real time. So where does that leave the DJI ROMO P? Overall, the ROMO P is a solid and well-executed first entry into the robot vacuum space. DJI clearly didn't rush this product. The build quality is convincing, the app is genuinely good, setup is easy, and navigation is reliable enough for everyday use. On hard floors in particular, the ROMO P performs well both when vacuuming and mopping, and features like the dual mopping pads, detergent dispensing, and floor deodorizer make the cleaning experience feel feel more complete than on many basic hybrid robots. At the same time, this is not a category-defining product. Carpet performance is clearly a weak point, even on relatively flat, low-pile carpets, and there's no standout DJI exclusive feature that truly separates the ROMO P from strong competitors in this segment. Navigation is good, and while obstacle handling works most of the time, it's not flawless. So the ROMO P makes the most sense if you live in a home with mostly hard floors, want a reliable daily cleaning robot, and value a polished app experience. For a first-generation product though, DJI did a lot right. And before you go to clean your apartment, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and hit subscribe, as we're always testing new devices to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.